In October 2023, Bihar's landmark caste survey revealed that OBCs and EBCs form roughly 63% of the state's population, reigniting calls to increase OBC quotas beyond the traditional 50% cap. At the national level, the introduction of a 10% EWS quota for economically weaker sections, which are largely upper castes, has already effectively breached that cap, and it's sensible to some extent. After 75 years of reservations, we are at a crossroad. Why has rationalizing our quota system become so contentious despite decades of affirmative action leading to suboptimal outcomes? Do you believe we should streamline reservations, for example, by restricting them to education, entry, or promotions, rather than extending them to all three aspects of perpetuity? Also, how would you implement such reform while safeguarding opportunity for truly deserving individuals who do not fall under these brackets and not losing them to countries like US and UK, which promise a relatively fairer meritocratic system?
I was very surprised to see Mr. Trump's polling after the election. Like a typical politician, I was looking at the polling, which segment of population was voting, the swing states behavior, men and women behavior, the immigrants behavior. I was very surprised by the immigrants behavior in US. Hispanics, traditional Democrat voters, 42% Republican this time. Colored people shift to Republican. So immigrants were shifting. I was like, what is happening? This guy speaks many a time that he wants to restrict immigration, but still you are voting. Then a professor gave me the answer for this. He said, look, this is called kicking the ladder syndrome. So you come up, you climb a ladder, you go up, and then you come as immigrant, then you become a citizen, you get amalgamated. You want to kick the ladder down because you don't want another immigrant to climb the ladder. So they said it's called the kicking the ladder syndrome, because these immigrants, after a point of time, they started behaving like Americans. They don't want another immigrant to come. That is why Hispanics, you got to see a fine difference between the first generation Hispanics and the second generation Hispanics. So this is in politics I've seen. Now we have to understand reservation is a very complex, a very touchy subject. And US uses the word called positive discrimination because historical injustice has happened. And now the Supreme Court has struck down reservation. As we speak now in US, the positive discrimination is not there. The Harvard case you must have seen last year in Supreme Court. When a student took Harvard to Supreme Court and the state got represented by the US government, the argument is, what is affirmative action? Because of this affirmative action, who got benefited? Have you done a study whether this affirmative action is achieving the cause and objective of what you want to do? I encourage students here to read the judgment, Harvard University and in the Supreme Court. So as we speak now, it is struck in the Supreme Court, the so-called affirmative action, because Harvard couldn't give a convincing answer by this affirmative action, whether the cause and objective is met. Now, shifting to India. Now, India, we have to understand, reservation is extended every 10 years. The constitution mandates reservation is not in perpetuity. It is not 100 years, 150 years. Every 10 years, we keep extending reservation for another 10 years. Then every 10 years, we have to study whether the cause and objective is met. Then if it is not met, Parliament has to extend by 10 years. We are doing it from 1950, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. We just extended to 2030. Now you have to keep this in context to understand. States like Tamil Nadu, which has got 69% reservation, which is protected in the 9th schedule, meaning the court can't touch. The 9th schedule of constitution is something the court doesn't have any mandate to check it open. Now, Karnataka, as we speak, Telangana, as we speak, Bihar, so they all have done their cost census, internal economic census. Now, like you said, OBC, EBC, economically backward, other backward. Now, Indian politics, lot of churning is happening, like month and lot of churning is happening. What is this reservation all about? Then recently, the Supreme Court gave a judgment for the SC/ST reservation. We have to apply creamy layer. Creamy layer, as we speak now, is 8 lakh, 10 lakh, 12 lakh. Beyond this, if somebody is earning, they cannot be considered an OBC. That is for the reservation purpose. Then the government took a call. We are not going to respectfully, we are not going to accept Supreme Court's viewpoint on this. For the SC and ST, we are not going to apply creamy layer to it. It will continue to be a creamy, non-creamy layerless reservation. So, lot of churning, discussion, surveys, everything is happening. At the same time, the Supreme Court is also coming hard on all of this metrics to say, how did you measure? Is the test of backwardness done? Because OBC by itself is not reservation. The test of backwardness is reservation. So which Supreme Court every single time it keeps asking, is the test of backwardness established? How did you establish? So that is why along with this, the economic survey is also happening. Now how many fridges they have, how many cars they have, what is their average net income, what is their average monthly income. So I'm giving a background to the whole thing before I give my answer, my viewpoint on this. So as we speak now, India as a country, we have breached that 50% cap, because 50% cap came in some time back. We said, okay, let us not touch 50 because the general category and the open category is 50. Up to 50 we can go. States like Tamil Nadu, because of the very peculiar nature of Tamil Nadu, because the OBCs are more in Tamil Nadu, OBCs are disproportionately larger number, the reservation has gone up to 69%. So as we speak now, all of this tests that we talk, the economic test that we talk, it clearly establishes there is a test of backwardness in our country at this point of time. Without a doubt, it is there. All political parties, because I can represent my party's viewpoint, I can represent my viewpoint along with it. So all parties in India, they are on the uniform page, test of backwardness is there. So I am very sure as we move, when intelligent people like you come into politics, you will apply your mind. You will bring new theories into it. You will continue to keep this churn on instead of just believing what we are saying. You will continue to scrutinize, continue to apply your mind, continue to keep asking questions every 10 years, whether we have objective or stated objective, should we go further? That is the only way to take it further. There's no other way. And second, yes, India continues to be a meritocratic society. There's no doubt about that. Why it is a meritocratic society? Because in reservation also, if you carefully study the marks, very carefully if you study, now all communities are almost coming on par. If you look at the civil service marks, if you look at the shrinking, the rank 1, or probably a person with a reservation who came in, his or her mark, somebody with an OBC reservation mark, somebody with a SC reservation mark, somebody with an ST reservation mark, it is all shrinking. It is all shrinking. It is all coming to a common page. So it is all coming. Every year you see it. So I would respectfully answer your question as saying, right now, the test of backwardness in our country is established. And some communities need that handholding without a doubt. And politics of our country also should not be about, I go to a tea shop owner's house. Which class is OBC? Which class is this? Now, unfortunately, politics have become like that now. Everything is there. How many secretary OBC? How many secretary non-OBC? How many businessmen OBC? How many businessmen non-OBC? That is nonsense. That is another part. Because in this conversation, you make reservation solid. When you extend the conversation too much, then reservation loses its significance. Because reservation is something pure. Nobody is with a begging bowl. Nobody is putting arms on a begging bowl. Everybody deserves to come there. Just because a community is historically disadvantaged, they need that handholding there. That we have, with that spirit of respect, reservation has to happen. Spirit of respect. Oh, you have come through the reservation route. I'm going to look bad on you. No. With the spirit of respect, we have to look at reservation. When we stretch the reservation topic too much, businessman OBC, he OBC, they OBC, he SC, he ST, what happened? The whole thing loses its relevance. That is why politician also, when some of you aspire to get into politics, you should be very careful with the language you are going to use in the future also. Thank you.
Just to clarify, sorry. Just to clarify a personal doubt. So the reservation should stop at a certain level, like maybe education, and not looked further. Is that what?
Okay. Now, in our country, the mandate that we have is reservation at the entry level, reservation at the promotion level. Okay, the reservation is applied at multiple levels. in our country, we don't have reservation at the promotion level. For example, you became an IPS officer. The reservation is applied at the initial selection, IPS, IAS, IFS, whatever it is. Then in the promotion, there's no reservation. You all get into a rank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then by rank wise, people get promotion based on the seniority. It is not there. But there are certain jobs. For example, I go to a naval lignite corporation. In the overall job, you maintain a certain quality at every single level. There it might play a part. So reservation in our country is at the entry level only. We don't apply reservation at the promotion level. So entry level, it is there. Now the key question to ask, which the courts and politics have to resolve in the near future is, how much reservation to one family? One family can take multiple reservations. I don't know. That's a question for courts, politics, voters, everybody to decide. Because courts can't decide on their own. Courts have to apply the test of constitution and decide. And anything in our country, the voters have to vote. End of the day, you and me can sit and talk in a mic. But it is 90 crore people who have to come up in an EVM machine. They have to say, I like this, I don't like this. So that also we have to wait. So that is for the future. And creamy layer, non-creamy layer, OBC, SC, ST. So let us wait. Politics is evolving. Things are evolving with a lot of patience, with respect, with the due process of constitution. Let us allow things to evolve on its own.